It's another MyPlayer Monday, and today we look at recreating the glove. That's right, today we're doing a MyPlayer build of the glove, otherwise known as Gary Payton, one of the great point guards of the 1990s, a player who could really impact the game on both the offensive and defensive ends of the court, and a guy with swagger like none other, one of the great trash talkers in NBA history, and a guy who grew up in my backyard. Well, not grew up, he went to college there, Oregon State. He's originally from the Oakland area, but here we go. Gary Payton, Oregon State, jersey number 20, right-handed. Some more things about Gary Payton if you are not familiar with this guy. He spent 13 years with the Seattle Supersonics. Rest in peace. And he was the 1995-96 Defensive Player of the Year, 9 NBA All-Star appearances, 9 seasons, first team All-Defense. This guy could lock it down, hence the nickname, the glove. He averaged over 20 points per game 7 times in his career. He averaged over 7 assists per game 9 seasons in his career, and actually led the league in assists in the 99-2000 season with 9 assists per game, so he was a dimer as well. 4th all-time on the steals leaderboard, which is truly remarkable. 8 seasons in the top 10 in steals, and led the league in steals in 95-96 with 3 assists per game. So this guy was a ball hawk, and like I said, could really impact the game on both sides of the ball. You see he's scoring, he's dropping dimes, he's getting steals, he's doing a little bit of everything. So in his prime years, Gary Payton would be getting you about 22 points a game, about 9 assists per game, 5 rebounds, and 2 steals a game. So this guy is a very well-rounded player, which again, we're running into this, causes a lot of challenges when you're trying to recreate them in NBA 2K through the MyPlayer mode. Because a lot of times these guys are just damn good at one thing or another thing, or they're just kind of like average across the board, and so it makes it really tough to create these guys who are great two-way players. So let's just jump into it. Let's see what we can do.
So what's next?
He will be logging your position.
All right, so of course when it comes down to positions, Gary Payton is a point guard. That's a no-brainer. I don't think we're going to be jumping around to anything else.
Okay,
Absolutely a point guard.
What are we looking for here?
Total floor general.
Let us know what your game is like.
And I got to see a lot of Gary Payton growing up because I'm a big Blazers fan. Gary Payton was up there in Seattle. We had this we call it the I-5, the Interstate 5 rivalry, and so I got to see a fair share of Gary Payton, and he was always kind of a guy that I loved to hate, but always respected for sure. So when we think about Gary Payton, of course, we're thinking of playmaking, and we're thinking of defense. In my mind, I think of him playing with Sean Kemp and just throwing these lobs like behind his head like this, just like straight up in the air. Go get it, Sean Kemp. His lobbing ability is something I'll always remember about Gary Payton. But again, he could score and he could play defense. So this is going to be tricky. Something's going to have to give somewhere. But I'm thinking playmaking and defense for him. So we'll take a look at what primary. Man, do you go primary playmaking? Maybe you go primary defense because he was like all-team defense. 9 or first team all defense 9 seasons. Maybe defending is his primary and playmaking is his secondary. Take a look down at the badges there. We're looking at 19 badges, including 2 Hall of Fame badges. So as a playmaking defender, let's take a look at what some of these attribute caps are. His layups are fine, around 80. Dunks, he got a driving dunk in the 70s. I don't think you need to have much of a dunk rating with Gary Payton necessarily. Here we get into some of the interesting, more relevant things. His shooting stats, contested mid, pretty much the mid-range is looking like low 70s, and three-point shooting, low 70s, which I would certainly like higher, but let's see what's the good stuff here. Ball control is 82, pass vision 78, pass accuracy 78. So I think he was a better playmaker than this, but you want this guy to be a ball hawk too. So let's see, he has a steal rating of 91 if we do it like this. Remember, we can adjust his arm length or whatever to arm length and height to modify these a little bit. So it's something to think about. Blazing fast is 97, lateral quickness 91. So I love the defensive stats that are on here, but I'm not too excited about what we have on the offensive end, either from a scoring or a playmaking standpoint. This could be it. Here are the badges that come with this primary defending, secondary playmaking build. We have Hall of Fame charge card and quick reflexes. Goal, defensive stopper, pick dodger, pick pocket, which is important. Lob City finisher, pretty unnecessary. Posterizer, unnecessary. Get some nice dribbling badges. Pick and roll maestro, I like. Dimer, I like. And I'm not sure that this is the one. It's not necessarily feeling completely GP to me. So let's flip this around, see what happens when we go primary playmaking, secondary defending. You'll see that the badges go down to 18 badges, no Hall of Fame. But let's take a quick look at what these badges are. When we get to gold, we have our ankle breaker, flashy passer, break starter, pick and roll, Lob City gold, which is great, Dimer gold, all good. So you're giving way to some of the defense for sure, but silver, defensive stopper, pick dodger, pick pocket, chase down artist, bruiser, and then some bronze badges related to finishing, which are nice, but not super GP. So let's take a look at what we got here when it comes to attributes. Just taking a quick glance at it. Very high in ball handling and passing, high in speed and acceleration, stamina, of course, and then pretty solid in steals and blocks. So I think I like this, but let's take a look at what these caps are. Layups are good, low to mid 80s, and dunks are relatively low, but that's fine with a player like this. Contested mid, open shot mid, we're looking at mid 70s for mid range. We're looking at mid 70s for 3-point shooting. Ball control is great at a 91, and the passing is very on point here. Okay, we don't need to worry about post scoring too much or rebounding. I mean, he was a decent rebounder. 70s, low 70s is great. Still have an 80 as a steal, and we may be able to modify this a little bit with wingspan. Block is 75. Lateral quickness 86. So I think this might be a little bit closer. Because I think that he's going to become, this build makes sure that he's at least a decent offensive player, that he's going to be able to score with some level of consistency and be able to distribute the ball. So let's roll with this one, two-way playmaker. I think that's good for Gary Payton. I just wish I could juice up those defensive stats a little bit without hurting the offensive stats. So let's see what we can do. Let's just take a quick glance to remember that mid-range shooting is and 3-point shooting is like mid-70s. Okay, we'll keep that in mind. Let's go with this and see what we can build.
Exactly what we need. Almost done now. Let's continue.
We're almost done.
Stand right up against the wall there. We're going to measure your height.
Okay.
All right. So when it comes to height, Gary Payton is listed at 6'4", which I think is fine. We'll go true to size here, and that will improve his standing dunk, his rebounding skills. Looks like potentially his steals a little bit. I don't know. Block for sure. But we'll keep going with that. We'll just go true to size here.
Okay.
You still doing fine? Do you need a cup of water or anything?
No, man, I'm all good.
And your living situation is taken care of?
And for weight,
yeah.
Gary Payton was a
so.
pretty slim guy.
Okay.
He was actually 180 pounds. So let's see what the default is. 195. He was wiry. And I think this will help a little bit in his speed. See, his strength goes down, box out goes down. Speed with ball goes up just a little bit. Acceleration a little bit. Lateral quickness a little bit. So it is what it is. I think that this is a good weight for him. What's the lowest you can go here? 175. I mean, he was a slight guy. Okay. Let's take a quick look at what his caps are. We're looking mostly at the speed stats. So let's go down here. So speed is a 95, acceleration a 90, Lateral quickness, 87. So that's fantastic. Lateral quickness is really going to help him on the defensive end, making sure that he can stay with the opposing point guard. And also that acceleration and just general speed means when you get steals with this guy, you're going to be off to the races. Nobody's catching you. You're going to go right up for an uncontested bucket. So I like that. I like that. Let's keep it moving.
Okay. One last
6'4",
thing. We need your wingspan.
180
Okay, sure thing.
pounds.
You're almost there.
Just right here.
Yes.
And this is where
Arms
it
out,
gets
please.
interesting because we have an opportunity here to juice those defensive stats if we want to increase the wingspan, but who knows what that hit on our offensive stats is going to be. So let's go up a couple notches and take a look. You can see already that the open shot mid-range and open shot 3 is going down. Contested goes up a little bit because longer wingspan means that you're going to be able to extend up higher than your defender. Steal goes up and block goes up. Okay, so let's take a look at what we have. Open shot, I still like this. Open shot mid is still mid to low 70s. Same with 3-point shooting, and I think that's fine with Gary Payton because if you know your release, you have a good jump shot on this build. Those kind of ratings are going to be fine as long as you're taking good shots, not too many highly contested shots. You'll be fine, and then we'll go look at what happens to the defense as well. So steals at an 80, which I love. Block 69, which we're not too worried about, but shot contest is at a 75. I'd love that steal rating to go up just a little bit. I'm tempted. Let's take a look at what one more notch out would do to us. Contested mid has gone up to 75. Open shot mid 72. Contested shot 3 74. Open shot 3 72. So just a little decrease on that. And then steal is still an 80 there. The block went up 1. Shot contest went up 1. So I don't really think that's worth it, to be honest with you guys. I would go back down 1. I'd go 84.7. I think I like where that's at. That is longer arms, but it's not, ridiculously wide, and gives him some more offensive scoring ability. Also, we can take a look at what happens when you go down a little bit lower. Here's default. We'll see what this does. If you actually, let's see what default does for his steal. Steal is still an 80, and steal is still an 80 at default. And even when we went up several notches, that didn't change. Block went down 2, and shot contest went down a few. So, and then what's our shooting with this? Mid. It's middle of the road. This is a tough call, guys. This is a tough call. I'm tempted to make his arms a little bit longer just so he can be in the passing lanes. I think that's what I want. I want 84.7. I think that's good. 84.7 makes your layups good. Your dunking is what it is. His driving dunk is at 73. Contact dunk is 61. Gary Payton was not a big time dunker. The mid range again is low 70s, low to mid 70s. Same with the 3-point shooting, but his passing's fantastic and his defense is fantastic. Got that 80 steal, 69 block, 75 shot contest where we're at right here. And he's fast. He's going to be a real presence on defense. He's going to be flying around there. Like I said, getting in those passing lanes, getting out on the fast break, diming to his teammates, or knocking down buckets himself. I think we got it, guys. So that is my Gary Payton build. Just to recap, he is a primary playmaker, secondary defender. He is 6'4", 180 pounds, with a wingspan of 84.7. Let me know what you guys think of this Gary Payton build. Would you have done anything differently? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Please drop this video a like. All that stuff really helps as we get this channel off the ground. And keep your eyes out for some other types of NBA 2K content. I have some highlight reels, some commentary videos coming your way. A lot of stuff I'm excited about. Of course, more MyPlayer videos. So if you have any suggestions or recommendations for players you'd like to see made, in my career, let me know and we'll make it happen. Thank you so much and have a great day.